If you're over 60 and suddenly feel off, 3 warning signs could mean a stroke is coming, and knowing them could save your life. Meet Ellen, a 68-year-old retired teacher who loved gardening, but one day couldn't hold her trowel, her hand numb and her words jumbled. She feared she'd never tend her roses again or read to her grandkids. But here's the hope. Spotting a stroke early with 3 simple signs can get you help fast, saving your brain and your future. Stick with me, because I'm going to show you what to watch for, why it happens, and exactly what to do. Type 1 in the comments if you want to protect yourself or someone you love, and hit subscribe to join our quality senior living community. For privacy reasons, I'll call our hero Ellen. She's a warm, dedicated woman whose garden was her sanctuary, filled with vibrant roses and laughter from her grandkids. But last summer, Ellen's world shook. While pruning her flowers, her right hand went numb, her speech slurred, and a wave of dizziness hit. She thought it was just fatigue, but her daughter knew better and rushed her to the hospital. That quick action saved Ellen's life, and she's back in her garden today. Let's dive into the 3 early warning signs of a stroke that Ellen learned, and you need to know. The first warning sign is sudden numbness or weakness, especially on one side of your body. After 60, your brain's blood vessels can narrow from plaque buildup or high blood pressure, cutting off oxygen to key areas. When this happens, your face, arm, or leg on one side may go numb or weak. A 2023 study from the American Stroke Association found that 80% of stroke patients experience this symptom first. For Ellen, her right hand felt like it was asleep and she couldn't grip her trowel. This is your body's red flag, screaming for help. Here's what to do. If you feel sudden numbness or weakness in your face, arm, or leg, especially on one side, don't wait. Ask someone to check if your smile is uneven or if one arm drifts down when you raise both. If so, call 911 immediately. Don't drive yourself. Time is brain. Every minute delays treatment. You lose millions of neurons. Ellen's donor checked her smile, saw it droop, and acted fast, saving her from permanent damage. Comment 2 below if you'll check for numbness or weakness and tell me who you'll share this with. But Ellen's story didn't start with numbness alone. She also struggled to speak clearly, which brings us to the second warning sign, sudden speech problems. When a stroke hits the brain's language centers, you might slur words, struggle to form sentences, or not understand others. A 2024 study in the Journal of Neurology showed that speech issues appear in 70% of strokes, often alongside numbness. Ellen tried to call for help, but her words came out garbled, like she was underwater. It terrified her, but it was a clear signal something was wrong. Try this. If you or someone else suddenly can't speak clearly or repeat a simple phrase like, "the sun is shining," test it. Ask them to say, "I love my garden." If their speech is slurred or they can't get the words out, call 911 right away. Don't wait to see if it passes. It might be a transient ischemic attack or mini stroke, which is a warning of a bigger stroke coming. Ellen's daughter asked her to repeat a phrase, heard the slurring, and knew it was serious. Comment 3 if you'll test for speech problems and share how you'll remember this sign.
The third warning sign is sudden dizziness or loss of balance. Your brain's cerebellum, which controls coordination, can be starved of blood during a stroke, making you feel unsteady or unable to walk straight. A 2023 study from The Lancet found that 60% of seniors with strokes report dizziness as an early sign. Ellen felt the garden spin around her, like she'd stepped off a merry-go-round. She grabbed a chair, but her legs wobbled and she nearly fell. That dizziness was her brain begging for oxygen. Here's how to act. If you feel sudden dizziness, trouble walking, or like the world is tilting, sit down to avoid falling and call 911. Ask someone to watch if you sway or can't stand steady. Pair this with checking for numbness or speech issues. Multiple signs mean higher risk. Ellen's daughter saw her wobble and acted fast, getting her to the hospital in time for clot-busting drugs. Comment 4 if you'll watch for dizziness and tell me how you'll stay safe if it hits. Let's go deeper. Why do these signs happen? A stroke occurs when blood flow to your brain is blocked by a clot called an ischemic stroke, or when a blood vessel bursts, causing a hemorrhagic stroke. After 60, high blood pressure, cholesterol buildup, and conditions like atrial fibrillation make these more likely. Ellen had untreated high blood pressure, which narrowed her arteries, setting the stage for her stroke. A 2024 study from the American Heart Association says controlling blood pressure cuts stroke risk by 40%. Knowing these signs, numbness, speech problems, dizziness, lets you act before the damage is permanent. But Ellen faced a hurdle. She almost ignored her symptoms, thinking she was just tired from gardening. That's a common mistake. Many seniors brush off warning signs, delaying help. A 2023 study in the Journal of Geriatric Medicine found that 50% of seniors wait over an hour before calling 911, losing critical time. Ellen's daughter saved her by recognizing the signs and insisting on action. You need a plan to avoid hesitation. Try this. Teach your family the Be Fast acronym. Balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, time. If you or someone shows sudden loss of balance, vision trouble, face drooping, arm weakness, or speech issues, it's time to call 911. Post this acronym on your fridge or phone. Ellen's family now keeps a Be Fast card in their kitchen, a reminder that saved her life. Comment 5 if you'll use Be Fast and share where you'll post it. Now let's talk prevention. Ellen's stroke was a wake-up call. She had high blood pressure but skipped her meds thinking she felt fine. That's a trap. High blood pressure is the #1 stroke risk, silently damaging your arteries. A 2024 study from the Mayo Clinic found that seniors who manage blood pressure with diet, exercise, and meds cut stroke risk by 35%. Ellen started checking her blood pressure daily and eating more greens, which strengthened her heart and brain. Here's how. Check your blood pressure twice a week with a home monitor. Aim for under 120/80. Eat a handful of leafy greens like spinach daily, rich in nitrates that relax blood vessels. Walk 20 minutes a day to boost circulation. Ellen now walks her neighborhood feeling stronger and clearer. Comment 6 if you'll check your blood pressure and tell me your favorite healthy food.
But strokes don't just affect your body, they hit your emotions. Ellen feared she'd lose her garden, her grandkids' story time, her independence. That fear drove her to act, but every small win, like walking without a cane, felt like a victory. A 2023 study from the American Psychological Association found that stroke survivors who act fast recover 50% better emotionally and physically. Ellen's quick hospital trip meant she was reading to her grandkids again in weeks, her smile back in place. Here's a challenge. Picture what you'd lose if a stroke hit. Your hobbies, your family time, your freedom. Write it down and commit to one prevention step today, like checking your blood pressure or learning Be Fast. Comment 7 with what you'd fight to keep, and let's inspire each other. Let's dive into lifestyle. Ellen loved her garden but rarely exercised, and her diet was heavy on sweets. After her stroke, she learned that small changes make a big difference. A 2024 study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that seniors who eat more fiber, think oats, berries, or beans, lower stroke risk by 25%. Exercise, like light stretching or walking, also strengthens blood vessels. Ellen started a morning stretch routine, feeling her legs grow steadier. Try this. Add one high-fiber food to your breakfast, like a bowl of oatmeal with berries. Do 5 minutes of gentle stretches daily. Reach for your toes, roll your shoulders, twist side to side. These small steps protect your brain. Ellen's morning oats and stretches gave her energy to garden again. Comment 8 if you'll try a fiber boost or stretch and share your favorite breakfast. Now let's hit the peak of Ellen's story. After her stroke, she was terrified she'd never be herself again. But by spotting the signs, numbness, slurred speech, dizziness, and getting to the hospital fast, she got clot-busting drugs that saved her brain. Within a month, Ellen was back in her garden, pruning roses and reading to her grandkids. Her daughter's quick thinking and the Be Fast tool turned a potential tragedy into a second chance. But what if Ellen had waited? If she'd ignored those signs, she could have faced paralysis, speech loss, or worse. The National Stroke Association says 1 in 3 stroke patients who delay treatment face permanent disability. But acting fast can cut that risk by 60% per a 2023 study in The Lancet. Ellen's story shows that knowing the signs, numbness, speech problems, dizziness, can save your life. Here's your final action step. Tomorrow, practice Be Fast with a loved one. Check for numbness, test their speech, watch for dizziness. Post the acronym somewhere visible. Start one prevention habit today, like checking your blood pressure or learning Be Fast. Comment 7 if you're ready to act, and share what step you'll take.
Let's wrap this up with a jolt. Picture Ellen, once afraid she'd lose her garden and grandkids, now laughing in the sunshine, her roses blooming, her voice clear. That can be you. Here's your plan. Know the 3 signs: numbness, speech problems, dizziness. Use Be Fast and call 911 fast. Prevent strokes with blood pressure checks, fiber, and exercise. Ignore this and you risk disability or death. Act and you could gain decades of vibrant living. A 2024 study from the American Heart Association says fast action saves 70% of stroke patients from major disability. Don't let a stroke steal your life. Hit that like button if this inspired you, and subscribe to Quality Senior Living for weekly tips to thrive. Comment A if you loved this video, B if it wasn't your thing, and tell me what you learned or what you'll try. Share this with someone who needs it. Let's save lives together. As a senior health expert, I'm telling you, 3 signs can change everything, but only if you act now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.